think we're live.
We are?
I don't know. Let's see what's happening. Everything's been like messed up lately, so who knows?
T's here. Hey.
Okay.
Long time no see, she said.
Is everything working? Microphone is on. So, T, as you know, I don't know the last time we talked to you, but not a lot of people read this book. So this may be a brief thing.
I have my ugly cover. Can you change the camera so I
Change the camera.
There
yes.
we go. So I didn't want to ruin my nice cover because I'm still eating. Because even though we had 20 minutes, I just started eating. But yeah. Oh, hello, Kerbo. Did you read it? No.
Pretty sure that everybody
so
said
Kivox
yesterday. Oh,
jumped ship.
No, it's because the movie's only coming out next year. So now I'm like, I lost my enthusiasm for it.
Hello, welcome. Did you read it? What the heck?
She tried to get in between my arms and she couldn't fit. I know. Are you okay?
So I don't know how I'm gonna rate this book. I'm very torn. And I thought maybe this live stream would help me. Not gonna lie, I finished this book 2 weeks ago, and I legit don't remember how it ended. So you guys need to remind me how it ended. I feel like, so Kivox...
Or you don't have to remind you. We could just not talk about it.
Kivox was gonna not show up, but he's right. I feel like nothing in this turns out to be a spoiler, because I feel like so much of the story they tell you, like, in the beginning of each chapter.
I mean, if there's, like, a big thing at the end, I would prefer to not, like, know about it if there's something cool that happens.
These sections in the beginning of each chapter, like...
From Princess Irulan,
they tell you freaking everything. They tell you that, like, he is eventually gonna marry her, even though we still haven't gotten to that in this book. They tell you that
is Princess Irulan, what's her face?
It's,
Mary Jane.
What?
From Spider-Man?
No. Zendaya?
Yeah, it's not her?
She is his girlfriend.
Oh, okay. So
what's
there's
her
another
name?
person?
Shoot.
Zendaya.
No, the girl in the book.
I never met her. I didn't get that far.
Ew, stop licking me, dude.
I didn't get that far.
Oh. I can't remember. But, like, for example, Yue is, like, the traitor. They tell you that, like, really early on in the book, in those beginning chapters. And I'm like, this was not a surprise. Like, we already knew that. And can someone remind me of, like, what his girlfriend's name is? So, like, essentially, the one thing that I didn't love about this book, and I don't know if you guys feel the same, is that, like, 3/4 of the way through it, they change pace, like, drastically. So I feel like learning, like, Paul when he was younger and, like, his, like, relationship with his mom and everything that went on, and, like, as he progressed, like, you were learning things, and then all of a sudden it hits to a point where they're on Dune, and they skip, like, years.
Do they?
And it's like, now he has a girlfriend and a kid, and it's like, what?
How old is he? Because he's 16,
I
isn't he?
don't freaking know.
He's 16 at the beginning.
I don't know how old he was later on. And then it jumps even further, like, to where... No, I think the first jump is, like, his mom's kid is born. So, like, you know the mom, in the beginning, you know she's pregnant again. With a girl.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you do. Because you knew his father died.
No.
No. I'm ruining everything. So, they jump to, like, her being born. Cheney. Yes, thank you.
Stop.
So, Cheney is going to be Zendaya.
Okay. How do you know?
I looked it up.
Oh. I was like, how do you know?
And, yes, it's going to be it is a 6-book series. This is just based on the first one. T said, yeah, I was really lost. I was too, because they don't tell you about the time jump. They're just like, boom. Like, all of a sudden, like, they do this weird like thing where his mother, Paul's mother, drinks some poison stuff and she's able to magically make it unpoison, and then because she was pregnant during that process, it made the girl baby like ridiculously like powerful and like super smart beyond her years. It was when his mother became like I can't remember any of the terms. She became like one of the elder mothers, basically. I can't remember what they called them. And so then they jump forward, and now that little girl is born, and she's like 3 years old, but she talks like she's 30, and she knows all these things that like she's not supposed to know, which I guess was kind of cool. The Princess Irulan is the Emperor's daughter. And so I guess that's who he's supposed to marry eventually, and that's why he won't marry Chani, because like even though he has a kid with Chani, it's like he won't marry her. It's like his concubine. She's like 4 years old and acts like a 60-year-old lady. Yeah, and it's because of that chemical interaction or whatever happened, like when she became the whatever mother. What do they call it? Bene Gesserit?
Well, that's their people, or
Yeah,
the girl, the women.
That's not what she was already
That's not
a
their
Bene
title.
Gesserit.
Yeah, that's not their title.
No, she became like the highest of the Bene Gesserit. Like there's a title that you become like something mother. But I feel like they spoiled the fact that he's gonna marry that lady because they already told us and it hasn't even happened. They spoiled that Paul was gonna be Muad'Dib. Like they told us that like long before that he was gonna be the Muad'Dib, and she has the memories of all the mothers before her. The Reverend Mother, yes, thank you very much. So now this child is involved in that, and I don't even remember the little girl's name. But I mean, I felt like all of it was interesting and all of it was good, and I was intrigued the entire time, but I felt like some of the magic and mystery like disappeared 3/4 of the way through the book when they started jumping through time. And then like, you know, the wars started happening, and then the side characters, like, I got them confused a lot. So like Yue, I remember, was like the traitor doctor, but then the two other people, like the sword master and basically the bard, I don't really remember their names, and I forget if they even lived or died. And then Aaliyah, okay, is the girl's name. I legit don't even remember how it ended, like the book ended. But I kind of remember thinking like, do I even want to like go on and read the next one? Like maybe I do, maybe I don't. So if anyone read it, I'm interested to hear what you think about the series, or about the book, because I thought it was good. I probably will give it a 4 because I really do think it was good, but there were those few things that kind of threw me off. I thought going into it that the Fremen were going to be like enemies, like they were going to be bad guys for some reason, like because they're like the natives of that world, and I thought for some reason that they were going to be bad. So it turned out, I think, like cool that they were nice.
I didn't think they were going to be bad at all.
I did.
I thought they were going to be like simple people, you know, like they're just too trusting. Like,
but there's that like a conspiracy though, because they have a lot of technology for people that live very simply. You know what I mean?
Well, they live on that crazy planet, Meek.
Well, they have the technology to turn full bodies of people into water. Like they can steal the water from the dead.
Again, I didn't get that far.
And they have the technology of the suits. You met this.
Yeah, I know about the suits. Yeah, with a thing in their nose
that
you thought was a piercing.
Yeah, I thought that was like some weird like piercing thing. I didn't realize it was like a nose plug. He said he didn't read it, but he got all the answers. What, Kerbo? I gave it a 3.75. It was hard to stay focused on the story sometimes because of the jumps. Girlfriend said the books get better as they go along. I mean, I guess I would read the other ones.
You won't, though.
I don't know.
You won't. I know you. Whenever you say, I guess I would, that means you will not do it. If you said, I'm going to read it, there's still a small chance that you probably won't.
I just don't have time to dedicate on something that I'm not sure I like love.
I'm not judging you. I completely agree. If you don't like something, you shouldn't
I
keep
do
reading
like it a lot, but I think I don't know if I liked it enough to continue. Like,
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
I don't know if you guys feel the same way, the people that have read it, but I
It's
still
like
want to remember what happens in the end.
it's like what's that night book that I don't like?
Nevernight.
Yeah, I won't read the rest of those because I didn't like the first one. What are you looking for?
I'm just looking at the end.
So obviously this is going to be a fairly short thing, and we may do one next year before the movie comes out because I'm sure more people will read it by then, and then I'll probably have finished it.
Kynes.
I never heard that name before.
Late. Was that his name?
Leighton?
It was
Isn't
like
there a
the
Leighton?
late
Oh.
Leite or something like that.
Like dead?
No, what were the Fremens like God guy or not God, but the ones that they like worshipped? Or
I thought they worshipped the worms.
they followed him. It was like
The worms, I thought.
I need help because like they talked about him being like I think he died though. I thought he died, but maybe not. I thought that's who Kynes was.
Well, this stream is a disaster. I didn't read it because, the movie, I mean. I'll read it eventually. It's just like, we had the last 2 weekends we were busy. And then that's usually when I do most of my reading is on Saturdays.
Oh yeah, Kynes.
Kindly?
Liette Kynes.
Mr. Kindly? You said late.
Yeah, I did. It's Liette. So he was the one that like the Fremen were like looked up to, and they were like, at first they didn't really know what the Liette was. They thought he was like some mythological thing, but it was a person.
I have not seen the original, and neither has she. Movie.
I feel like the movie will be 100% better than the book because of visuals and all. Yes. Yeah, no, we haven't seen it. Shai Hulud. I think the movie, if it's done as well as it looks, will smooth over a lot of the issues people have with the book. I'm looking forward to it. I said it before, don't let me choose the book. I don't think it's a bad idea. Like, the book was good, don't get me wrong. Like, I think I'm going to give it a 4. Like, I don't regret reading it. I think for the time and the fact that it's such an old book, like, it's readable now, which is crazy because a lot of older fantasy and older sci-fi, like, I have trouble reading. They try to make it way too complicated, and this is a complicated story, but I don't feel it's complicated to the point where, like, I didn't understand what was going on. And it's an in-depth world. Like, he thought about so many factors. Like, he thought about the environment and how you would live in this environment, and he went into great detail about, how to make it that these people can live in this environment. And, then there was this whole political war with the spice, which I felt like, based on the movie trailer, was going to be like a way bigger thing. I mean, the spice is a big thing, don't get me wrong. And I thought it was a cool twist that, like, some people knew that, like, in order for the spice to be there and survive, essentially, you can't get rid of the sandworms. Because some people were like, let's just kill off all the sandworms. And then, like, I think it was Kind that was like, you can't do that, basically, because if you kill off the sandworms, the spice goes away. But I also found it kind of interesting how people are now so addicted to the spice that you literally, like, can't live without it. It's like a drug to them. So I thought that was an interesting twist. Like I said, I really ended up enjoying it as a whole. I do agree that I may like the movie better. Just because it's very visual. You can imagine everything that was going on. But I feel the tipping point was when they moved forward and Paul was doing his first sand ride on the sandworms, and the little girl was there, his sister Aaliyah or whatever her name was. And, like, that's when I started getting a little leery. Like, this is kind of going fast.
It would be nice if they did, like, I don't know what they're doing for the movie. If they're doing... I know that this is, like, part 1. Mm-hmm. This is Dune, like, 1.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's Dune part 1 of book 1, or if it's part 1 of like a 3-part series or a 4-part series.
Yeah,
or,
I don't know.
You know, so hopefully they because it's a big book, so they're trying to do that whole book. From what I heard, they're doing parts of the second book.
I researched it and I heard that it was only like the first 2 movies were going to be based on the first book. I could be wrong.
I hope so, because I heard the opposite. I heard that the first book had some information from the second book. Or the first movie had some stuff from the second book.
Hello, Ralphie. Apparently, the author was a journalist before a writer, so his writing is kind of dry. Paul is really powerful. There's a reason he's powerful, though. Like, I don't mind a character being powerful if there's a reason behind it, instead of, like, they were just born powerful. It's because she decided to... and I don't know, the way they make it seem in this book is that, like, women can just decide if they have boys or girls. Like, that's a thing. Like, at least that's what the impression I got from it, because she was like, oh, I know I was supposed to have a boy, but I decided to a girl, but I decided to have a boy. And it's like, that's something you can just decide? Okay. And she had Paul because she had this, like, feeling that he was gonna be, like, a Bene Gesserit. He was gonna be, like, greater than whatever. So there's, like, a reason. Which I'm okay with. But I don't really think that the writing was dry, to be honest. Like, I was really invested in it, pretty much until 3/4 through the book, and then it just kind of, like, went off in different tangents, and it's not that I didn't like it, but it was different, so it took, like, I don't know. Do you guys know of any books? I don't know. On a spaceship? I mean, nothing that I can think of that's really good. Maybe Children of Time.
Was decent.
Yeah, it was good. Thank you for uploading such good content. The writing is dry, that's why all it's sand and no water.
Ha!
I know, but I feel like he created an interesting and good world. Like, the people that lived there adapted and learned how to survive, like, and he came up with decent ideas as to how that happened. If you have, like, the newer version of the book, the author's son writes, like, a prelude, essentially, and it's kind of sad because it feels like during his writing of these 6 books, the author just kind of, like, abandoned his family and, like, did nothing but write the books, and, like, he wasn't much of a father figure, so that kind of sucks. But I feel like he did a really good job. He created a very in-depth world. So I don't really have any complaints about that. But
I'm sure his kids aren't complaining about the money that the book made, though.
Especially now that he made 6 of his own after the fact, which I hear they suck.
So, I mean, yeah, maybe he wasn't the best dad, but at least he provided. You know,
I think, like, later on...
There's a plus.
I think they also said later on his relationship, like, got better with him, like, you know, after the fact. But anyway, yeah, I think you'll like it once you finish it.
Someday.
But I feel like you said before, there's really no spoiling it because, like, you know everything. Like,
I just don't feel like, you know, like, let's say his dad dying, it's not going to be like a gotcha moment. It's going to be like his dad dies.
Yeah.
Or there's a battle and then his dad is dead. It's like, okay, I feel like there's no fanfare in this series.
Yeah, and they're like a lot of the characters get, like, separated at one point. So, like, Paul and his mother, like, basically have a crash in the desert and they have to, like, survive, and they come across the Fremen and the Fremen take them in. So then he becomes part of the Fremen, which he becomes their Muad'Dib. And that's, like, how that all plays out. So Paul essentially eventually becomes a Dune native in a sense, where he, like, develops their...
blue eyes. Blue on blue eyes.
That's just with the spice, though.
Yeah, but it's in all their food.
Yeah. There's so much he won't remember everything when he reads it, yeah. They had money to have a decent life. Yeah. I mean, he was lucky, but then he lost everything. Like... There was that betrayal, and then they all got separated, and then Paul comes across, the
money thing you're talking about, the family.
Who?
The writer's family.
Oh.
Not Paul.
Got it. Um, yeah, because they said that this author was one of, like, even though it was a big book and a lot of companies like put him down because back in the day, like, I don't even remember what year this was originally published, but back then, like, big fantasy and sci-fi like didn't really exist. 1965.
I was just born.
So it wasn't like really a popular thing, so a lot of companies didn't want to take it on, but there were several reprintings of this book throughout this author's life, so which is cool. I feel like it was obvious the father would die. Yes. There's one thing though, I never felt connected to the characters and never really felt the connection between them either. Yeah, well, I mean, the way the movie portrays it, or the trailers, like, I feel like him and Cheney would have been more of an item. And they are, and I think he really does care for her, but he adopts, like, the methods of the old school way too much, where, like, she is his concubine, and she's not good enough to be his wife, unfortunately, and that he knows somehow through his powers that he's got to marry, like, someone else.
Let's see what happens in the movie nowadays.
Yeah.
It's coming out in 2021, so let's see, you know, the society that we're in now. I don't know if it's okay to write stuff like that anymore. To make a movie like that, you know.
The book is somehow really cold. Yeah, I can see that. Like, I can see how
dry.
the characters, like, toward each other are a bit cold. Like, there's the only, like, true loving relationship I feel is, like, Paul and his mother in a sense. But even that's a little iffy. Like, she does things based on tradition still, so
he does the same thing.
Yeah, but he does do the same thing, so I agree, it's a little cold and weird as far as that
but
goes.
what you have to realize is it makes you feel disconnected because they're not human, they're not earthlings.
Yeah.
Right, they're not like us. They're, I guess it's a good thing because it's like they're a completely different, like, race. So, like, the way that they're raised, and they're royalty too, right? So a lot of times royalty, especially in stories and fantasy and stuff, it's all about, you know, the tradition. It's all about that whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a T rated at 3.75. I don't know if anyone else read it, but I liked it. I didn't hate it. And so our next book, I forgot to bring it upstairs.
Oh, great!
It's gonna be To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Paolini. Paolini, the guy that wrote Aragon. I hear that this is better. It's nothing like Aragon. It's a sci-fi. So we'll see if it's good. I've heard mixed things, and but I'm excited to read it because the early reviews had good reviews, and now that more people have access to it, it's gone down a bit. But I feel like that's to be expected. I mean, but yeah.
I hope it's good. Is it sci-fi?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
I think she's literally, like, on a ship and, like, so I think it's around a girl, if I remember straight.
Okay.
I don't know much about it.
What are they calling, like, the style of it? Is it like a horror, space horror, opera, action adventure?
Probably action adventure. I don't know for sure though.
Do people even call books action adventure books?
They do.
They do? Okay.
Yeah, I know. And then we're thinking video games. Maybe they don't.
It's a genre, right?
Yeah.
I would consider that a type of book, like Shade's First Rule. It's definitely it's a lit RPG, but it's definitely like an action
it's
RPG
fantasy, adventure fantasy.
It's a lit RPG. It's because of all the stats. Yeah.
So I hope you guys join us for To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. That's our November book. I have kind of high hopes for it, which sucks. Rachel says, I've heard that it's very focused on the world and sci-fi elements.
So like an epic.
So maybe I would like that. It depends. I kind of like a good mixture between characters and world, and I feel like, you know, the person that I can think of that does that best is Brandon Sanderson. Like, he brings enough fantasy, but also tells you about the magic in the system.
And also, like, original ideas.
But also has, like,
The magic system.
a lot of world building.
It's always that magic
and
system.
stuff like
too.
that. Like he has a little bit of everything, but he meshes it so well.
Oh yeah, like even Star Sight I'm looking at, but what's the other one? What was the other one called?
The first one?
Yeah.
Skyward,
yeah, like that was sci-fi.
Yeah.
That was really good.
But it had a lot of character development,
Yeah.
and it had a lot of like he's just good at like doing a little bit of everything.
And the magic system was cool, even though it was
Yeah.
like the science system.
So he said fantasy fiction, adult, and space opera. That's the main
Genre.
Good read, I guess.
Wow.
Very mixed reviews from what I've heard. Seems to be that people don't like it as much because it isn't character driven. That doesn't bother me though. It depends. Like I kind of personally like to have character and world building, so we'll see if I like it. Yeah.
Hi York, we're about to end the stream.
Yeah, we're
but thanks
ending.
thanks for popping in. Like the video before you leave.
Thank you for anyone who joined and read it, and
we're gonna do another one next year. Before the movie comes out, we'll do like a recap, maybe a reread. We'll just it'll be like an optional thing. Like, hey,
yeah,
if you guys want to read
maybe an
this,
extra.
Yeah, like if you guys want to do this, we're gonna do it, because then that's when I plan on reading it, because I want to be fresh for when I watch the movie.
Yeah, I was
You know what I mean?
already literally I was already like 3/4 of the way done with the book by the time they announced that they were moving it, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not gonna stop reading it now because I'm never gonna be able to go back.
If it's not character driven, the world needs to be on point.
It does. I agree. The world needs to be very interesting.
With an O-N. Just so you know. Isn't it French?
It is.
Isn't that French, T?
It's
what,
on point.
What the heck,
E-N.
dude? It's E-N-T. Get it right. You speak French.
No. She's right. On point is like ballet when you're on your toes.
Okay. So, that's what she meant? On point?
On point that's a term. It is. But you could also have on point, but that usually means like a physical something. So like on point, like you're
on point.
On like.
So I think that the word on point came from the ballet.
Yes.
And now people say on point.
Yes.
But it's not.
It's not
It's
related.
supposed to. Well, it is. I think it is. I think that it came from that, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I just want to make fun of T.
En route.
Yeah, en route. This
It's
is the
like
same
when you're
thing.
on your way somewhere.
But they spell it like
They
on
do.
point.
They do. E-N. Thank you guys. I know this is a little bit.
She's like so excited about eating right now.
Dude,
She
I'm
keeps
like-
picking up her fork and about to eat, and then she puts it back down for some reason.
I'm like, I want to eat so bad. I didn't eat before. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll hopefully see you for To Sleep in a Sea of Stars.
When is it?
Oh, shoot.
Let me pull it
Pull
up
up
here.
the calendar. It's going to be November 29th.
29th, yep.
2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And I'll make an event, because I'm trying to do that now with the stream. So I'll make an event for it probably after this.
T, you still didn't eat?
I'll make an event for this right after, so you guys can add that to your thing. You should be able to go to our live streams and add it to your things, and then it'll should notify you. So if we go here, I can actually
schedule
one.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do lately. That's what I started yesterday during the other live stream.
But do it after.
I'm doing it right now,
We're
my
saying
dude.
Goodbye.
Watch this.
Gross.
That was for you. I did that for you.
I can't see anything.
Oh, because I'm on the wrong one.
Bring back the words.
Oh, they're right here. The words. There they are.
Go eat until next time. I didn't have time between D&D and that. I really didn't either. All right. Thank you guys. Hope to see you later, and have a good afternoon.
Say bye, Meek.
Bye, Meek.
Bye, bye, bye.
Food. Oh.
Ow. What was that? Look at that face. What was that?